What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about SNDL, give you a good breakdown of what the data points are saying and potentially where things might be going from here. Before I do, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So currently it is $1.82, down roughly about 3.5% or 3.1%. It is, and I do believe this is a all-time low for SNDL. Of course, that's factoring in the whole reverse split, so I think it works out to be around 7 cents, something like that, if I remember correctly. But of course, give yourself a shout out in the comments below as well if you have been buying, because I think in general, it's not necessarily just a SNDL problem. It is a broader market problem right now. And a lot of people don't really and are unable to really distinguish between the two. But when it comes down to, for instance, the latest news that did come out on the 13th, I think in general this is pretty positive, that the fact that they are laying off 85 employees, oddly enough, it somehow works out to be $9 million in cost savings. I don't know how they get that. But, of course, them laying off and trying to mitigate any expenses, lower expenses, is a very positive sign. So that might be a little bit more of a potential precursor for upcoming earnings. More specifically, the Q1. Of course, the Q4 earnings should be coming around the end of March, give or take around that time period. And I think in general, these earnings aren't really highly anticipated to be positive. I don't know why, just the average sentiment what I've been really reading on, nobody really seems to be thinking too positively of this. And you can even see based on Reddit, StockTwits, all the social platforms are all basically saying the exact same thing. But I think in general, like I said, it has something also to do with the fact that it's just been going down and just the sentiment around that. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. I like to sometimes see the positives and sometimes what big money is doing. So I'll give you a good breakdown of that. That includes also options activity. So this is options activity for today. A lot of calls being purchased, but this one clearly stands out. It was almost about $49,000 in premiums of puts. So it does go to show that there was someone anticipating for SNDL to go down. And as you can see based on the most active chains, it does look like it is a January 17th, 2025 put, $1 put. So clearly by then, a lot of people are very much doubtful that SNDL will be above $1. So that is a little bit more of a scary thing to really think about, because that is a pretty big drop even from these levels. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that. Hopefully, based on this upcoming earnings, there's a lot more analysts that look at it. And what I mean by that is the last ratings that SNDL actually did get was on August 16th, 2022 by Canaccord, which gave a $5 rating. So I think in general, it is very much overdue for some analysts' attention. And in reality though, I think that there is some pretty good value in SNDL. And you can even tell based on the Morningstar report, the latest one that came out, it goes to show that the fair market value for SNDL is at $5.18. So of course, take that information how you see fit. I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But if you do couple that with, for instance, in Q4 2022, so this is updated information incorporating all the 13Fs, there was 18.7 million call options being purchased by all 13F filers. 955,000 call options being purchased by hedge funds. So if you guys don't know options, highly suggest in researching them. They can be very much profitable and beneficial. But the fact that this amount of call options are being purchased does insinuate that there is upside anticipated. And usually when it comes down to big money and institutions, they are not so kind of narrow-minded. They don't think short-term, they think long-term. They think once there is federal legalization, this is where SNDL is going to make a lot of good money. So once again, short-term kind of sucks a little bit. Long-term, I think in general, this is where a lot of people will make a lot of good money. But over and above that though, before I get into some technicals, I just want to talk on shorts. And again, I'm not necessarily saying SNDL is going to have a squeeze, but I like to bring this up as a good benchmark. So right now the short interest is 6.41% of the free float, of course, and 16.82 million shares is in fact being shorted as a total. Today though, shorts did increase their position 47,000 shares. So of course, with today being a very much red day and them increasing their position, it clearly shows that they are anticipating anticipating it to go down. And maybe as well, this option was very much linked to shorts, who knows again. But like I said, there's different ways to interpret SNDL. Short term, I think there's going to be a little bit more pain based on even the technicals. Long term, I think, like I said, it should be fairly good. And when it comes down to the technicals, it is below all the pivotal moving averages, so it is fair to assume that you just have to follow the Fibonacci levels to give you a good indication of potentially where things might be going. So right now it is trading between the S2 and the S1, so it might hypothetically hit a low of $1.70, and depending on the circumstances at the time, it could break into the S3 and the S2, but it did just briefly get into this range anyway, so it might actually go back into the S1 and the pivot. But of course, I think there's a lot of different external factors at play right now, more specifically to do with the broader economy, not necessarily just with SNDL. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that. Based on these two indicators, so the stochastic and momentum, stochastic is currently at 7, very, very oversold, as what RSI is also saying as well. Momentum, number of retail investors for the most part, is flat. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Most likely, like I said, I do anticipate a little bit more of a potential downtrend as well because of the broader economy just really going down the drain, and with the yields going up, as the short-term yields, I guess more specifically, going up, it's just decentivizing individuals to invest in, for instance, very high spec stocks such as SNDL. But once again, let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, I appreciate you guys for watching.